Let's bring her out now. I'm so stoked. She is all the things. Singer, dancer, choreographer, actress, producer, host, judge, icon. She's got a star on the Walk of Fame. She was one of Time Magazine's most influential people in the world. I can't keep saying all the accolades because I gotta get her out here. She's so amazing. And I'm gonna tell you this too, and I don't know if she remembers this, but like in a time, because I won the first Idol, not everybody was excited about talent show winners in 2002. And not everyone was kind. And like this counts so much more to me than anything. She is so nice. Like she came up and was like this huge star, it was nobody, and just was so nice and said nice things and is just a kind person. And I think that that counts so much in a time, especially when not everybody was nice. So thank you for that. But her new album is called This Is Me Now. It's available wherever you get your music, and she has an original on Prime Video called This Is Me Now, a love story. It's incredible. She's also got a documentary out called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. You can see it on Prime Video on February 27th. Everybody, give it up for Jennifer Lopez! Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, yes.
I feel like I've spent the last like 12 hours with you because I feel like we've been on a date for 12 hours because I wanted to watch everything, and there's so much coming out right now with this trilogy, and it's the most incredible undertaking, by the way, just from an artist point of view. Like, I'm not even talking about the acting, the dance, everything's coming into play in this whole thing. Yeah. It's just incredible, all the talent that you are capable of.
You're one of my favorite voices ever.
You're very nice. You're very nice.
There's like I have like my 5 favorite singers of all time, and you're one of them.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I was just in awe watching this whole thing, and then got some PTSD with a lot of the subject matters, but we'll get into that. This Is Me Then, 22 years ago, right? So the album, and so how do you think you've evolved for now?
Oh God, I mean, that's what the whole project is about. You know what I mean? I mean, I did, just so everybody knows, I did an album 20 years ago when I announced this album called This Is Me Then. At that time, I had fallen in love, and I was like so inspired, and I did this whole album, and it really captured that moment in time. Yeah. And so in kind of like a strange plot twist of life, we wound up getting back together, you know, 18 years later. And it was...
Feel free to make this rom-com, by the way. Okay, cool.
Yes. 20 years later. And I was really inspired to go back in and make music again in that same way. And
but you did that and then took it to like the next
but the thing
level.
that happened is, as you're in the studio, and you know this, you start talking about things, you're finding the songs, everything's kind of happening in real time. And it made me really look at the time in between. Yeah. You know what I mean? And reflect on like the road that led you. How did I get from there to there? Like, how did that happen? And like,
and who would have thought?
Who would have thought? All the things, and the second chances, but it's really not about that. And I was like, this is not a fairy tale. And so
it's a real tale.
It's a real tale. And I finished the album, and it was so special, it was so beautiful. And then there was all this other stuff, and I was like, this is not the whole story. I have to make another piece of it. So the album actually inspired the second part of it. I didn't want to just make a video. I knew the music was more special than anything I'd ever done.
I'm so glad you didn't just do it. Yeah. It is so cool how you've done it. I've never seen anything like it, like in the sense of like, even like the, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but even these moments where the acting comes into play, and then you go and you release into the songs, and you feel the justice, you feel everything. Thank you. Like while watching you, while listening to you. Is it hard for you to be that vulnerable? Because it is
at times. With this one, it was really, because it was the most honest album I ever did. And then to do this part of it, like half the time when you guys see, it's 3 parts to it. It's the album, it's this Amazon original, both that are coming out. And then there's this documentary, the behind the scenes, which when you watch it, it's kind of the story of a hopeless romantic, which I have been and I am.
I think a lot of us are.
Yeah, and I think it's just watching the hopeless romantic, you know, kind of journey through life in the search for what love is.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. I just thought of this, like watching all that, and even the different songs, the different places in your life. I'm now running through movies that you maybe chose subconsciously.
Oh, absolutely. And every song I ever recorded.
Yeah.
All of the things that I've ever chosen to do.
It was all there. And
were always about what was going on in my life, even though it wasn't just an overt kind of thing. Like, yes, this is happening with me right now, but you are drawn to things. I am drawn to things in which I am either suffering through or, you know, going through or celebrating or all different, right? There's tons of different emotions that go into the things that we choose to do as artists and put out there, right? But it has to be kind of true because people know when it's not. They know when it's
transparent. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I love when someone puts out a song though, and I'm just like, I do not believe that you've ever been brokenhearted. You would not be singing it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, that would sound very different if you had actually.
No, you know when people have been broken.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that challenges me. And that's a work in progress always. I don't claim to have anything all figured out. And I think that's the most fun part of my life.
Yeah. Anyone who's claiming to have it all figured out is the reason why we're in therapy. That was a look at her new original video. It's called This Is Me Now, a love story. She's also got her new album, This Is Me Now, available wherever you get your music. So I want to talk about this. On the song Broken Like Me, which is amazing. You're welcome from her. For this song is amazing. But Jennifer writes, covered in scars, now this is me, broken like me, hard to believe, there's no other way I wanted to be. There's so much in those words.
Yeah.
What is that for you? What's the...
You know, that song was the hardest one for me to do. And I think I was writing it up until the last day when they were like, we have to close the album now. I just kept going back and messing with the words and I wanted them to be just right because it was kind of the kind of admission and the realization, but the admission of like, you know, I think people see you a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you say, well, I'm not, you know, I'm always putting my best foot forward in show business, right? I'm come up, I show up.
Professional.
Make you laugh, make you sing, make you dance, we all have a good time together. And then to say something like that, you know, is very kind of, it's really a confession, right?
And it's very telling of what we don't really know what's
of what you don't know about me. I think there was always a part of myself that with this project I let out, but that I was hiding. And not only was I not being honest with everybody else, I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't looking at it, you know? And so that song is a very special song, and you'll see in the movie how it kind of reveals itself.
Oh, it's so great. I want to talk about this real quick because there's a lot of cameos. And I loved the Monster-in-Law reunion with you and Jane Fonda. I love that movie so much. Anyway, and I gotta say, like, I think it's hard. It's hard for artists once you finally feel like you can get it out there. I think it's harder for those that love us and friends and family to watch us be that vulnerable because they see us get attacked or they see people take things and twist it and whatever. So I hear it was a little hard for her to sign on at first, right?
Yeah, it was hard for her to sign on and a lot of people to kind of, like I said, understand what I was doing. And I couldn't even, you know, people were not even interested in it because they couldn't understand it. I couldn't even explain to them what I was trying to do. I was like, well, it's not really a music video, no. And it's not a collection of music videos. No, it's not that either. No, it's not like a full-length movie. No, you know.
You can tell them all the things that aren't.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell them what it was because it hadn't really been done.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's a kind of a mix of things, you know, but I'm gonna tell the story.
Yeah, you know? Just trust me.
I was like, I know exactly what it is. Like, I have it right here. And everybody was like, no. And so I just did it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said, well, I'll show them. I'll show them after I get it done.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do. But I think a part of that, the vulnerability, like you say, of kind of like putting yourself out there is something that Jane and everybody was like, you know, why do you feel you need to do this? I was like, I just feel like it's worthy. It's good. It's something that I want to share. It's worthy. And I don't know what else to do as an artist except that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Thank you as well.
So, hummingbird, in the original, there's symbolism with that for you, right? And that's my favorite bird, by the way.
Yeah,
it has
mine
been
too.
since I was a little kid.
I love, you know, I always feel like whenever you see a hummingbird, like for me, they show up.
It's magical.
It's like a sign from God. That's God telling me it's going to be okay. That's the universe telling me it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, so for
And
sure.
and
I
also,
wrote the song Hummingbird. I wanted to write a song Hummingbird on the album. And I wrote it actually to my kid. Wanted them to know, like, I'm your hummingbird. I'm here. I'm going to let you know it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And I started writing it like that, and it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And but it turned out to sound like another love song. I couldn't help it. I was in that mode.
Yeah, I love love. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Wait, speaking of kiddos, like I think you said it in one of the things like I said, I watched everything and did everything all at once, but it was at some point like your biggest fear you feel like is failing as a parent, which by the way, that's all of us. Like that's everyone.
I know.
And then you look at your
and
parents
there's
differently.
also no right or wrong way. Like there's everybody has to figure out their own child.
Yeah.
And if you have two, then you have to figure out this one and this one.
Yeah.
And if you have 5, then it's like all of them, right?
Yeah.
And you
If
have
you
a
have
blended
5,
family.
grab
you're like,
a
okay,
glass of wine.
Do that. Oh, that's all right. Right. A little bit of Dolola.
Yeah.
Right. So at the end, which is why I made that. And now you see.
All ties in, connecting dots.
But for sure, it's a challenging thing, and yeah, it's one of my biggest, you know, kind of biggest focus in life is to make sure that they're okay, that I give them what they need to be like full, healthy, you know, thriving human beings.
Yeah. With this relationship, especially being in such a big relationship, I know that the attention and the scrutiny hurt relationship in the past, you know, and it's hard just to be in the limelight living life in general. But how do you feel like it's different now? You just think it's being wiser, just older?
I just think you know what's important now. You know what I mean? Like, I think when we were younger,
perspective.
Yeah, you have a different, you want everything to be like, everybody to like you and everybody to kind of
people
like.
Pleaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think now it's like we know what the important things in our life are. It's our kids, it's each other, it's, you know, doing what we love, you know, and it's not so much what people, you know, people who are negative will say about you or things like that. Like, that's
You're not thinking of what they expect.
No, you just get older and you go, these are the important things in life. That's not the important thing in life. I'm not going to worry about somebody who's over by the, you know, they're, you know, talking about me or saying, you know, nasty things about us. It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter.
Yeah.
They actually don't.
Those people.
It matters how you feel about yourself.
I know. And usually those people, I'm just like, you're over here talking about somebody else's life. Worry about your own front porch.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Stay on your own front porch.
Yeah.
Like,
Or,
I never got
bring
that.
something positive to the table.
Yeah.
You know
Or
what I
don't
mean?
say anything at
Be
all if you
encouraging
don't have
to other
any-
people.
yeah.
It's like the thing in life where you like whatever you put out, you're gonna get that back.
Amen.
I tell my kids this all the time. I was like, what you put out there is coming right back to you, maybe like 10 times over.
So watch that tongue.
Make sure that you're putting out beautiful things in the world. Make sure that you're being positive. Make sure you're being kind. Make sure that you're encouraging other people too. Like, make sure that you're saying, that's great. You put yourself out there. Go ahead, do it. Is that what feels right to you? Do that. And I think that is how you create your life in a really like positive way.
Because while you're saying that to them, you're also hearing it yourself.
Of course.
Yeah. And you're also hearing the negative too.
The parent part too.
Yeah. There was something in the film that I was watching, and I'm trying to remember which part it was, but I can't. But it was like you were talking about, you know, the fear of being alone. And it's so funny because I started laughing while watching it because I have the fear of being in a relationship. And
that's the other side of it.
I am your yang. Nice to meet you.
Yin.
Yes, yang. And it was because I we maybe have the same issues, like listening to things, but we went in separate ways. And I prize being alone, because I'm like, oh man, somebody else is here. And then I end up kind of morphing to love them more and do things more and whatever. I always like, you know, cater, and I have a hard time remembering I'm in the room.
Right.
That's why for me. But yours was, you were like, I have a fear of being, I don't want to be alone. Like I like being in a relationship. I like being with people.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because I was a middle child or because, you know, we grew up and we had one bed and the three of us slept in it, so I was used to having like bodies next to me. I don't know what it was.
See, we're opposite. I had to share with my sister, and now I'm like, this is my bed. Get the hell out.
But I got very comforted by that, and I liked that feeling, and so I had to learn the healthy kind of way of like being alone and being my own best friend and being my own company in that way. And
because you're pretty badass.
I'm better at it now. I'm much better at it now, but it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work to get there.
It takes a lot of work on either side.
To change anything about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, any patterns that we have. That's
know.
Also what the movie's about, what the musical's about.
Yeah.
About patterns.
Oh man, I know there's so much in there. I love it so much. So, oh my gosh. So you are going on tour. I cannot wait. We were just talking about in the break this summer. I don't know if I was in Brazil. I don't know where I was, but at some point I was on stage before you somewhere. I was in awe. Like what you accomplish on a stage and you don't have a heart attack is insane to me. Like,
I really enjoy.
I literally was just like, oh my God.
I always say that is my most favorite part of the job, and I like a lot of the things that I do.
You are incredible at it.
But I love performing live. I feel like first of all, I love people, and I love looking into their faces, and I love seeing them smile, and I love seeing them sing and dance and jump up and down and scream and cry. I love all of that part of it, but I feel like there's such an exchange where I actually get to be my best self up there. I am, you know, all I am is giving. All I am is like, this is for you. I'm doing this for you. I hope you enjoy yourself, because I'm gonna give you everything, you know? And I really enjoy that. When I'm putting a show together, it's just like meticulous details of like, I don't want to lose them for 1 second. They're not going to be, nobody's going to look at their phone.
Nobody's going to the bathroom.
Nobody's going to the bathroom. They're not going to want to miss. Well, that's the intention I go in with. Well, to give you the best show you ever seen. I want you leaving my show going, that's the best show I ever saw.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, I failed in my mind.
Trust me, they're all saying that. And the artists that have to go on before you are going, I failed. And like, it's like,
not at all.
No, it's everybody to each his own. I mean,
everybody's different.
But yeah, absolutely. But it's an incredible thing to witness, like behold.
Thank
you. How do you, man, your set list has to be crazy. You have so many hits. You have so many things that people want to, how do you, because you also don't want to make fans mad and like skip some. So
I know, because like I think about this tour and I'm putting it together right now, and I'm thinking of all the new stuff and this whole, you know, musical that they're gonna have seen, and you know, and
then take the ride.
And take that ride with me, but also it's like it's connected to the This Is Me Then album. So like for a long time I never did records from that album, because it was just like a painful thing for me.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, I want to incorporate some of that stuff that I've never done.
I just changed the lyrics.
Yeah, I know you do. I know, that's genius.
I was like,
by the way, genius. I wish I would have thought of that.
Do this. I can't sing these words. I will either have rage or bawl. I don't know which one will come out. Like, I was like,
yeah, I should have done that. I didn't think of that. But I'm doing those for the first time. And then all of that stuff for the first time. So there'll be a really new experience for people who've come and watched me tour, you know, for the past few years and stuff like that, past 10 years. But then I think, oh God, I have to do like, Let's Get Loud. I have to do, you know what I mean?
That song is such a good vibe.
I get mad, I get worried, like people are gonna be mad at me. Like, why didn't you do?
No, the whole audience wants to go, hey, we all wanna get in there. Yes. Anyway, let's do another break, everybody. Jennifer's new album is called This Is Me Now, and it's available wherever you get your music. And check out her original This Is Me Now, a love story on Prime Video. We're gonna play a musical game in honor of both next. Stay here.